Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. It is Wednesday afternoon or early afternoon, and that means Matt, the mortgage guy. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Mike. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. So one of the things I think we have to talk about is pre-approval demand seems to be up, and we need to talk about why that is because, again, I don't think the market appreciates where we are and what's going on. So is pre-approval demand up for you?
It certainly is. Yeah. And I mean, for me, for anybody I talk to, our pain point currently is lots of people that want to buy, not so much stuff to buy. And, you can look at national numbers. We talked about the refinance numbers being up a big number. Purchase applications are up as well, not as big as a number, but, I certainly feel it in my business where, a production manager came to me and said, man, I had 10 pre-approvals to look at yesterday, one day. Right. And so the thought that comes to my mind is if we're looking at 10 a day, 50 a week, and 200 in a month of people that are willing and able and going to be qualified to buy in my market or any market, there's just not a lot of stuff to buy.
Yeah. And this again goes back to watching the consumer. It is predictable. I told you it was coming. I've told people in my private Facebook group that expect Q1, which goes through the end of March, to be wild, almost like last April, which was bananas. And it's all because there's no inventory, right?
Yeah. And I just want to say something real quick because I've talked to a dozen realtors in the last week and the same conversation kind of comes up. That frenzy feeling that you're talking about last April, we feel it, man. Like January felt like that. It felt like a frenzy. The way people were offering, the way the consumers were acting, and the way that it was, a mad dash, 15, 20 offers, multiple counter offers. It was frenzy like.
Yeah. So be careful. If you're an owner and you're coming off the sidelines, right? You were frustrated last summer, so you took a break and the holidays came and now you're ready to go again. You got to be careful. I mean, I know there are going to be people that overpay today. They're going to have buyer's remorse. They're going to settle. It will, I mean, the rates going up is going to mean less yes answers. It's going to mean less buyers, and eventually inventory will start building. We closed 2021 at record lows. January, we went lower. January we have historically never been lower. January is historically not a busy month. It was bananas. And again, it's weird because I get it, right? The consumer is what I've studied and am passionate about. They're coming off going, honey, if we don't get it now, we're going to be priced out. We'll never get something. That's generally speaking not how it works. I know it feels like that in the moment, but when there's 20 people fighting for one piece of bread, bad things happen. There will be more bread coming in this analogy. It's hard to believe, but having done it for a long time, markets have cycles. And
yeah. I think you're right too. And I don't know how much stock to put in some of this stuff I see online about, more building going on than we've seen since 2006. But, if there's that inventory coming, if there is some light at the end of the tunnel, I totally agree with you. The 100+ folks that I have pre-approved and actively shopping, I remind them that, something is going to come. This offer didn't get accepted. This one didn't get accepted. It sucks. It's tough, but it'll, if you're persistent and have a little patience, it'll eventually come. And, on the topic of settling, I use an analogy that I like. Somebody told it to me once, and I tell people, when you're going to buy a house, you want it to be 80% of what you're looking for. 10% are things that you can change, and 10% are things you can learn to live with. Right. And so you're never going to find the perfect house. But you also don't want to settle for 2 bedrooms versus 4 or this neighborhood versus that one. Right. So 80% of what you're looking for as far as bedrooms and neighborhood and layout and all those things. And then there's always going to be 10% that you're going to change. You're going to remodel the bathroom, and then 10% you're just going to say, all right, I'm going to learn to live with, an office a little bit smaller than I would have liked, or whatever that 10% is.
Yeah. Well, if somebody's watching this, they're interested in getting a rental property or particularly purchasing their own owner occupant, they want to reach out and get pre-approved. Because folks, if you are shopping today with no inventory, if you aren't pre-approved, your offer will not be considered. It will not be considered. It doesn't matter. You must be pre-approved to offer today. How do you want them to reach out?
Go to greatmortgagebroker.com. I really think that we are going to add value to folks, whether you work with us or not, whether it's this year or next year, by just contacting us, getting yourself pre-approved. I mean, heck, to be completely honest, Mike, if you don't get pre-approved, we're working on, putting people in different buckets depending on what they're going to do, and pouring education on them, right? How the credit score works, what you can do about that, how, investing in real estate can help you grow your net worth, different things to where, best case, you get yourself pre-approved, you get a really good, clear picture of the numbers and you understand it better. Becoming a more educated investor. Nobody ever went back and said, man, I wish I wouldn't have learned all that. I wish I wouldn't have been so good at analyzing, properties and what my mortgage payment looked like, and having that along with just, baseline education is going to empower people. Right. And so, we've got a big push company-wide at UMortgage for financial literacy education. And that's really something that, people should be, thirsty to go out and get, because that's where you start.
Yeah, what I would tell someone on that topic is, this is why you want to work with Matt, the mortgage guy, is he's going to pour into you. You might get a no answer today. That's okay. But you learn why, and he can help you get there for the future. Matt, the mortgage guy, has been in the business a long time. He will be in the business decades to come. Work with him. GreatMortgageBroker.com. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike.